Hello and good evening, everybody. So, my name's DrWeez, and I am an extreme overclocker from South Africa. So, tonight I'm doing a quick little session, basically picking up where we left off on Tuesday. For those of you who are watching and are interested to know, the issues we're having on Tuesday looks like it was definitely related to some bent pin issues. So, it definitely seems like I've been doing too much work at the gym, and I've been over tightening on the impact. So I don't know if you won't be able to see too well on the stream. If I can maybe just get that to focus. If you look at the top, you can sort of see the discoloration there, I think, and that's basically the issue I've got. So I've got to sit and really straight on those bloody pins again, and it's a long process. I think I might just give up and end up buying myself a new impact and just get it over with. Once you sort of knock the board like that, it's hard to trust it again. So that's purely, it looks like definitely was my fault, of no fault of anything other than the muscles in my hands and the stupidity in my brain. So tonight what we've got going, and let's just have a look at the system we've got up and running. And we'll just transition that across quickly. Right, so what we've got on the bench set up and ready to rock and roll is the ROG Maximus 8 Extreme, this one over here. I think let me try and move all that a little bit further there. Okay, that's a bit better. Okay, so we've got the Maximus 8 Extreme. Again, we're running the Fury, HyperX Fury 2660 C15s, and then for the CPU, we're running the 6700K from Intel, and for power delivery, we're using the V1200 Platinum from Cooler Master. The cooling solution we're using today is, again, the BEAST from DrWeez, and for video, I've got a 980 Ti Poseidon, delivering all of our video power today. The goal today, to this evening, is to quickly see if I'm still a bit of a loser when it comes to clocking 6700Ks to the max, or if it was really just bad luck last week with on Tuesday with the pins. So it will be a quick session. I can't really stay up much later than say 9:30 tonight. That's why it's an early start today. So sorry for you guys that normally tune in at 8 o'clock. We'll be back to our normal schedule when I return from the DRC week after next, before we head off to Taiwan, of course. So let's get to it. Please don't be shy. Ask some questions if you have any on the chat. I'll try and monitor as much as possible. And then you're also welcome to drop me a message on Facebook Messenger if you feel more comfortable communicating that way. If there's anything you'd like to see on the stream, please drop us a message as well. We'll try and fit it in. So if there's any sort of benchmark, any sort of test. Last week we had a request to do some rookie rumble stuff, and that went quite well, and I think a few people actually learned some nice things there. Other than that, let's not muck around too much. I'm already down to minus 60 on the CPU. I've got a very basic memory clock going already, and let's just bring that up. Okay, so the screen capture is not working. Hold a second, let me get that up. There we go. Okay, so we've got a very basic clock on the memory already. I've just put it to 3600, 13, 18, 18, 28. Nothing really strenuous there. The whole real main goal now is I want to get the processor to around 6.4, and if I can get the processor to 6.4, then I want to start running some like 05 or maybe some 06 tonight, and that will be the sum total of our achievements. So the reason why we need to end the stream early is I have to be at a client by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, which means I need to get up at 4:30 in the morning. And if I don't get to bed by, say, 9:30, 10:30, I'm never going to get up in time for that meeting. So real life really does seem to get in the way sometimes, but let's not complain too much, and let's just get cracking on with it. Alright, so as I said, I'm just going to get on with it. I will drop comments where I remember to, otherwise I will need you guys to talk to me, and then I'll talk back. Okay, so we're just going to go into the BIOS now, and the first thing I'm going to do is for 05 and whatnot, we don't need hyper-threading. 03, 05, 06. I don't think we need hyper-threading for 06. Maybe for 06 we do. I'll have to check that up in my book of tricks. And we're just going to disable that for 05. I want to make sure that I've got some of these things all disabled. Okay, it's not necessary. Alright, so let's have a look, see what I've got set. Alright, so we've got a manual, and we're going to change the multiplier. We're going to start off with a 50 and just go with it from there. Alright, so got a couple of other voltages set for now. We will need to change one or two of them, but for now we're just going to be 50 and just be done with it. So I'm going to go back and do my notes quickly just to make sure. Okay, and just go ahead and just boot that. I'm just going to run to the kitchen quickly and get my cup of tea. I left it behind. So one other change that we're making this evening is I'm also trying a new Twitch server. I reran all of the bandwidth tests to see which is my best server, and where I was using Prague before, the Paris and the UK one are now considerably better on my ping. So let me know if you guys are still having some major delays or not. This might fix the problem. Well, that's at least the hope, right? Okay, so I've rebooted and then I've frozen on B2. Now that could be that my termination voltage is maybe not high enough yet for the temperature I'm at. Yeah, so I froze on 25 now. So that's to do with temperature. I'll be back. Sorry. Okay, so 99, B6, we should boot, yeah, okay. So, the weather report for today from DrWeez is, in the interim currently, it is 21.2 degrees. That's a 0.8 of a degree down from where we were on Tuesday, so it definitely feels like winter is coming. And the humidity this evening at 6 o'clock was at 55% with a 0% cloud cover. So definitely getting cooler. Definitely getting cooler. Which is great for overclocking. Not so great for the skin. Okay, I need to go and put those voltages up because I'm definitely having cold issues. Right, so again, right, so let's just have a look what we got going here. Tweaker's Paradise. Core PLL, I want that to be 1.8. I think 1.8 will start at 1.8 and then go up to 2.2, 2.4. Or is it internal? I think it's core PLL. Okay, and In TLR termination, I want to put 1.45, and shadow, I want to put up to 1.35, or standby. Okay, so some people will say that is overvolting, and I don't care. Okay, so the screen capture is not working. Let me just disable it again. Okay, hold on. It's a bit tricky now with this new version because let me see if I can leave that property window open. When I change the cutscenes, it changes away. Okay. So again, we set the multiplier up to 50 on the cache and 50 on the ring. What I'd like to do is, what I didn't do before I started clocking, was just make sure that we run a baseline and that we are actually stable, or the operating system and the motherboard and all that's all good. This Rampage Extreme of mine has got a problem with the one BIOS chip that is completely corrupt. I can't reflash it and whatnot, so if this main BIOS corrupts, I have to take the BIOS chips off and then flash them on a programmer. So let's hope nothing like that happens tonight, but it shouldn't. We're not going to be pushing the memory and stuff far, and we really shouldn't have too many issues. Okay, that's kind of bugging me there. Yeah, shame. I must say these poor Z170 boards of mine have really been through the wars. They've been well used. I've got some technical difficulties with one of the memory slots on my Genie at the same time. It looks like I'm really going to have to go and do some replacing. So the Impact, I think I'm going to order tomorrow, because that's the board I'm planning to use at the World Tour in Taiwan for the qualifiers. And I'm not too keen on traveling with a board that's been giving issues and I'm 100% confident with. Especially with this formatting of the World Tour, you've got to walk in there and you've got 30 minutes in these semi-finals and these finals 1-to-1. You can't be mucking about with bent pins and memory slot issues. You've got to be confident with your hardware. So we don't want to repeat what happened in China. with the board that I took over there, which had faulty memory channels. You know, when I came back and I retested the board, everything showed that just the one bank of channels was giving issues. And yeah, it cost me quite a bit. That I wasted a lot of time. Okay, right. So what's happened here? The benchmark seems to have crashed. I went down to minus 170. Might have been a little bit too much for my temperatures and voltages, I think. And we've still got numlock, but yeah, it's not coming back. So if we hit the power button, it does not shut down. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and hit the retry button. Now, cold boot bug on this processor should be around minus 167. So we're at minus 168, and that's exactly what's happened. We've got O2 on the postcode, so that's cold boot bug. Now, if I just heat up slightly, okay, I'm at 166 now, it should boot. Perfect. Okay, so everything's behaving absolutely normal again. Whereas with the impact, we were having cold boot bugs, you know, it was booting at like minus 180. So, yeah, that was my first indication that there was something not so lacquer. But, yeah, at least we got things acting normal again, which is quite refreshing. Okay, so didn't deactivate and activate that, so we're booting Windows again. Right, so I just lost my HDMI signal and 00 on the postcode, so let's just reboot again. Okay, so I think at 50 multiplier, trying to go full pot's just ridiculously stupid. So let's go ahead and change some things. Let's go 55 and 55 and 1.75. Good tea. Okay, 99. Over voltage. Frustrating. With all these new BIOS versions, I need to go through and set my base profiles up again where I disable all of this stuff. The G-Skill OC World Cup qualifiers through a spanner in the works per se with the new biases that were required in order to enable the RGP with full voltages and to remove the protections. So there's also some on the Maximus from ROG from HQ. They released some new biases with some new memory timings and tweaks and stuff in them, which really did improve things drastically on the impact. But each time they release a new bias revision, you need to go and redo all your profiles that you've spent hours in building and setting up. So there are pros and cons to it, but when there's great gains to be had, like there was with that impact bias, it's worth it at the end of the day. All right, so back into Windows. That's 55. So it should be at 5.5. And we'll just run another baseline and see what our temperatures do. Okay, so 55. So yeah, just under 3 weeks to go, or just over 3 weeks to go until we start all heading off to Taiwan for Computex. If you are going, you haven't booked your place already for the World Tour, I suggest you guys get in there and get that done. I know last year there were limited space. I haven't seen any posts about limited space this year, but the guys are all starting to get their plans bolted down and starting to get all the administration work out of the way. So if you're planning to go, don't wait too long. Get your ticket, get signed up, make sure that you got your spot. Don't be disappointed that you couldn't get in. Alright, so at 170, minus 170, we haven't locked up yet, so that's looking good. That's interesting. So the benchmark crashed out to the desktop and the PC actually froze full pot. It could be an OC problem or could be a full pot problem. We'll diagnose it now. I actually don't need to run full pot. I don't know why I'm trying for it. But anyway. So, sorry, I haven't checked the chat out. Okay, either the Twitch chat is broken or I've got no one watching tonight. Okay, so let's not go cold. Let's just stay at minus 165. Okay. Sorry, let me just disable the screen. I had chat open there. Okay. Good evening, TXOC. What's that? FTW for the win. Good evening. Yeah. Yeah, it does look like Twitch is broken because even my dashboard is saying that I'm still offline, and I've got no one on the viewer list. Okay, so yeah, okay, so definitely temperature related as to the crashing between game tests there. So let's just have a quick look at what my stats are. So I'm currently uploading around 2.2 kilobytes per second. CPU usage on the stream PC, which is powered by ASUS, is currently sitting around 18%. The stream has been running for 29 minutes. So the stream PC has very kindly received a new cooling solution from Cooler Master and a new power solution from Cooler Master as well, after we were having a few technical difficulties with it last week. They were very kind enough to donate a Neptune 140 all-in-one cooler for us, and then a 850 watt V power supply. So the 400 watt power supply they had in there before was just not cutting it. And it seems to be running quite nicely. The next thing I plan to do is get a new hands-free kit, so that I can lose this string that's coming around this side and just have like a Bluetooth thing. It should be arriving tomorrow. They had them on special today at Takealot for $500. I'm hoping that it will do the trick and that the audio quality will improve slightly, and it won't interfere with my safety at all, because that's the biggest problem with having headphones with the microphone, is the cable is getting tripped up on the thing, you know. Okay, so we've got a score, and sorry, let me just deactivate. So we did get a score of 68,130. So my current best on 3D Mark 05 is 73,000, and that was done at 6.4. So definitely from here we need to start looking at increasing our CPU speed and finding our stabilities and our voltages. So we'll leave the CPU core at 1.75, and now we're really just going to start bumping up the voltages. And to do a quick preliminary test, I'm going to run W prime, just to make sure that at least it runs W prime before going and running a full 3D Mark and wasting everyone's time and nitrogen. So the temperatures now, I want to try and keep around minus 165, and I'm just okay. So 167. 167, I hit a cold bug, which means I need to increase some voltages to remove that cold bug. Right, so let's get back into Windows. Oh, let's get into the BIOS first. Alright, and what have I done wrong? That's right. Now the reason why I say I think that's right is because for the D-School OC World Cup qualifier, there were a lot of voltages that you just couldn't push like you can push when you're not using the IGP. So my whole thinking, my whole way of pushing these chips really changed during that competition. You've got to get back into it. And I'm an old dog. I struggle sometimes with adapting and getting back into the swing of things. But we persevere and we get there. Right, so again we'll just leave the voltages where it is, because we didn't really crash because of voltages, we crashed because of temperature. And what I want to do is I want to see where I crash with the voltage with W prime on the ratio. So we ran 56 fine, and we just ran it again, and we're just going to get colder to see if we've resolved that problem as well. So minus 170. Okay, let's just move this to the side then, and we'll just try and group up that. Okay, minus 74, so we seem to resolve that problem. Okay. So going colder again, just to make sure. Run it again. Okay. And then we'll go up one more multiplier. Run it again. Okay. Times are improving, so it's definitely clocking it up. It's not like it's down clocking anything. Right. Okay, so that's 58 and 59 at 1.75. Let's try again. We're at minus 180 on the temperature. Okay, and we're still at 1.75 on the core voltage. Yeah, so I think you should be able to understand what I'm trying to do here now. So I'm just checking the temperatures. I'm checking the maximum clock just to see where I'm sort of stable. I'm not saying that it's minus 185. We hit the cold bug again. So you can't see it. My screen went black. So when I just deactivate and activate, you see it got black. So 00 on the postcode. So we hit a cold bug there. So we need to warm up again. $170, 160, 170, 166. Okay, there we go. So we should post now. There we go. Okay, so I've moved the cold bug from minus 170 to minus 185 on my temperature probe. So there are other things we can do to try and move it even further, but for now I think minus 180 is fine by me. I'm not going to full pot the CPU, I don't think. And let's try and run a 60 multiplier now at minus 180. Okay. And we're just going to go around 59 again. And maybe what it is a good time now is to move the cache voltage, the cache frequency up a bit as well. And I just want to take it down to minus 180. Okay, so this, I forgot to set it. It'll take a while, but it's fine. Okay, so let's just have a look now, and let's try and move our cache up a bit. Not forgetting to set that. And we're just going to splash. Now it's a good time as well, now that we're going to be working on the sort of edge of cold bag, is to get a smaller flask. A smaller flask means less stress on the muscles. And for me at least, I find that with the bigger flask I tend to over pour more. So it's also a little bit of a protection mechanism. And then I refill from the big flask to the small flask. Okay. Right, so we're running at 60 now, and if we run 61, then we are light years ahead of where we were on Tuesday. Right, so, you know, that's absolutely chalk and cheese. If you're wanting to see how horrible a bad session can be, I suggest you watch the replay from Tuesday's session on YouTube, and then have a watch of this session. You can see that the extreme differences and the things you can look out for when overclocking to pinpoint exactly what sort of horrible session you might be having, or why you might be having a horrible session. In my case, it was because I'd over tightened and I'd basically squashed some pins, and it just wasn't pretty. So we were nowhere near being able to even run 5.9 at any voltages on Tuesday, and we're now running 6.1 at 1.75, which is where I expected the processor to be. So it's looking like all back to normals. Right, so what we're going to do now is, I think we're going to crash pretty soon as far as this voltage is concerned with the megahertz. So I'm thinking we're going to need around 1.8, 1.9 to do 6.4. So I'm going to continue to go and see where do I actually crash, and then we'll boot back into Windows and we'll up the core voltages a bit, and then try that same multiplier until we get to a point where, you know, we just don't get anywhere. So my temperatures, I'm still going to try and maintain around minus 180. Right, and 63. Right, okay. This is getting a bit ridiculous now. 64. Okay, minus 180. Okay, there we go, 64. So at 1.75 volts, we did a 63 multiplier, W prime, 4 cores, 4 threads. Okay, so now what we have to do is get back to our cold boot plug temperatures. Okay, it should be coming back now. So we were able to do 6.3 at 1.75 volts. We will up that to 1.8 now volts and try and see if we can get 64 to pass. Again, we're just running it like minus 180. Okay. So we're just going to change that. We're just going to change that to that. Okay, and yeah, I'm happy with everything else. It looks alright. Yeah, let's just change that to 61 and come in here. Okay, so 6.430. My previous best at 05. I think it was with this chip, I'm not too sure. It'll be interesting to see if I can get any better. Let's just run that, it should finish, no problems. Okay, and 63. I just over poured a bit there, so I just ran it quickly again just to ease up the processor a bit. Okay, and let's go 64 and run. Alright, so 64. We'll try 65. We haven't upped our cache. Yeah, that wasn't a good idea. Okay, so we've frozen. It was either temperature or cache, and I think it was cache. I shouldn't have upped the cache. Okay, but we ran 64 at 1.8. Okay, the canister's empty. Okay, let's just bring the screen back. Okay, we're beating. There we go. So, shall we try 65 quickly? 8. Let's just go 825. We'll leave the cache ratio. Maybe this chip's got a bad cache. I'm sure it's not so great. Just have a look quickly. Yeah, that's not very nice. on my screenshot for my best CPU for 3.05. I didn't open up the memory tab, so I don't know what memory cache I had set. It doesn't matter. I'm sure I remember correctly, this thing only had like a 59 cache, this chip. Okay. No. Postcode. I don't know why I'm hitting that 25 postcode. That's not right. Might be frosted up. Yeah, no, it's not good. Try safe mode, but I think we've got a little bit of condensation build up in this sort of area over here around the memory slots. So safe mode's going in, which means I definitely think it's memory related. You can't really see, but this first HyperX DIMM is like really nicely frosted up, which is always nice because you want the AFR to run a little bit cold. But I actually think that's causing now some training issues. Maybe. The one thing you can do is just to switch the system off and take the hairdryer, just heat it up a little bit, take the blower and blow it out a bit, and then continue. I think we might need to get that done as well. Come on. Okay, that's frozen going into the safe mode BIOS. Yeah, 25s. Okay, so let's just switch the view here. Okay. So what I'll do is we're going to take this out and give you a show here. I don't know if you can see there, that's all basically frosted up, all of that, and then there's a little bit of condensation on the sticks. The biggest problem though is normally inside the slots here, and that you have the problem there. Go ahead and blast it with the hairdryer, and then let's get rid of any of the melted condensation. I use my air compressor, and I just blow away. Same on the memory module, just blow away the be back in action. Otherwise, we have to then call it a night and really break everything down completely and start over. So let's see where we are. Alright, so we're still stuck on that 25. Yeah, it's never good. Okay, well. It's not good news. It's CPU initialization straight off the back foot, going through the post. So let's see if we get into safe mode. Okay, B672 is 96, so posting into safe mode. Let's just bring it up again. I need to just disable that capture device, and then you should have screen again. So you can see we're back into safe mode. Let's just see if we actually load the BIOS. Okay, so we're back there. Now, that's good. Let's check if we can boot normally. You know what, I think 25. Hold on, in 25 core PLL voltage, something like that. I seem to remember stuck B2s. Let me check my notes. Okay, hold on. Let's try this 1.37 and 1.9. And then also the other one I can take down a bit, maybe that one. Yeah. Okay, let me just bring a new container in. Okay, so let's see now if we encounter some cold issues because we've changed a couple of settings. So what we want to do is just go 85. So last time we were at 1.825 and we got stuck at 65 multiplier. Okay, so our cold bug is back at minus 170. Let's get rid of that again. Oh shit, there goes my phone. Sorry, language. Okay, so the first thing we're going to try and do for the cold bug is we'll move DMR to 1.85, 1.7, and we're going to change this to 2.2, and then we're going to see. And then if we get the 25 issue again, then I think we'll take the DMR voltage down. Right, so stage 1 of the ProOC Cup does open this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. And let's just bring it up here on the screen. And the round 1 is 3D Mark 03. Now, what you're going to need for 3D Mark 03 is a fast processor, first of all. So you need 6.5, 6.6, 6.7, which I don't have. And you need to have a 980 Ti overclocked to about 1900, 2000, which I do have. So coming up on Saturday night or Sunday night, I will be doing my actual run for the ProOC Cup Round 2, Stage 1. And I plan to do it on the Impact, but my Impact is not in action anymore. And it looks like I'll be doing it on the Extreme now. And I'll be using a 980 Ti Hall of Fame LN2 edition, and yeah, we'll be giving it our best bet, our best shot at least, shall I say. So that I think can go up more, but we'll leave it there for now. So let's go back to 6.4, and let's just see. I'm already at 177, so cold bug is gone. And we're just going to run W prime again. I think if this, let's actually run a 3D Mark 05 as well, to see where we are as far as voltages and stability goes for the 3D Mark, because it is a little bit more stressful than W prime 32M. And 32M by no means stresses anything drastically, but it does give you a real quick indication of where your overclock is. Without having to sit through minutes and minutes of benchmarks. We're going to put this to 59. Run again. Okay. So that's now 59. Maybe we need a little bit more, or a little bit less voltage. Let's just try again. Yeah, it could have been temperature related because I was warmer that run. Okay. Okay, so let's just save this and go 64. Okay, it is running. I just want to top up my nitrogen first before I switch the screen. Sorry, guys. Should have switched the screen before I went to go fetch nitrogen. And should I picture again? So the 3 Mark 05 stage is stage 3. And that one there, the submission window is the 6th of the 6th. So we will be, I will be in Taiwan for that stage. So it might be some value in actually getting a score for that saved, because I will be away in Taiwan and I might run out of time. Although I do have some very exciting things going on in Taiwan during Computex, and I will be bringing some of that to you on the Twitch. On my YouTube channel and on Twitch. So for this setup the way it is at the moment, there's a few things in order to get a competitor score that needs to happen here. First is I need to fine tune the memory. I haven't done any of the seconds or the thirds and fourth timings at all for this set that's running at the moment. I need to then fine-tune the operating system, which I haven't done yet either, including the graphics drivers. As you can see, everything is just straightforward stock and looking ugly. And then the third thing is the video card. So I think 05 doesn't benefit a hell of a lot from any sort of overclock on the 980 Ti, except for maybe a little bit on the video card memory. So that's the 3 things. So we'll schedule in. I'm off to the DRC next week, so there'll be no streams next week, but I plan to make up with a stream over the weekend. And next weekend I'll definitely get 2 streams done on my return. The week after that, it is the last week before we head off to Taiwan. So let's just check, okay, and let me check the chat, sorry. So I definitely think the Twitch chat is broken. Nothing happening there tonight. So this CPU I'm using was purchased from Case King. It was not one of the best CPUs. I just can't afford that. It was rated at 6.5 to 8 HW bar prime stable at 1.9 volts. So I'm not too sure where HW bar prime compares to the likes of 05 and 03 and 06. but it looks like it's running at 6.4 here, no problem. So I can maybe get 6.450, maybe 6.430. We'll try pumping the volts up to 2 volts, and see if we can maybe get 6.5. I think the lifespan of this CPU is also quite limited nowadays. At the end of the month, there's some new toys for us to play with, so might as well just get. Okay, so that's a personal best at 76. 73 is my previous personal best. Let's just get that up on the screen. Okay, and my personal best before was 73654, 76751. So a new personal best. And where does that compare to everybody else in the world? So my previous personal best was 34th, ranked 34th. And the 76.7 puts us in 25th place, beating out Airhead 73, who is currently in 25th place. And he had a processor that was running at 6.3. So I can definitely gain at least 1,000 points by just fine-tuning things a little bit here with maybe the memory and the video card settings and a couple of other things. So if we just go ahead and compare the details on where I'm actually down, I'm up there, I'm just barely up there, and I'm down on Canon. Alright, well that's very promising. Okay. So let's have a look at where we are. That's quite an aggressive jump. Oh, let's try it. What's the worst that can happen? It can crash. Alright, so let me enable, disable. Okay. So we open up the chat. And I don't know why I bother. It looks like the chat's definitely broken tonight. Okay, so top 20, I need 77,800. Okay, I'm also using the HDMI out, and there could be some gain in using the DVR out. But in order for me to do that, I can't stream it. So that would definitely be an offline test. Yeah, temperatures are just around -180, and well, it's getting a little frosty again in that memory slot, but it should be fine for now. That 25 problem we were having before was definitely something else, and I did fix it. You saw how I fixed it. I wasn't hiding anything. Oh, blue screen. Okay, what worries me now is that we're actually posting at -178. So that could mean we have separated from the CPU surface. Okay, well, let's hope we haven't cracked. The fact that we booted so cold just definitely worries me. We're back in Windows. Sorry, I haven't changed anything, and I'm just going to go ahead and load the 64 profile and apply it. So we got as far as game test 3 at 101. So I'm going to go ahead and set 101 again, and I'm just going to give us a little bit extra juice there and try again. This time I will run only game test 3. Damn it, that sucks. Definitely got further. Definitely got further. Okay, we'll try a little bit more volts. There we go, cold bug. Okay, perfect. Okay, we should be back and booting. Okay, I think while we're at it, let's just have a look here. I don't have anything here yet. Let's just do it while I remember. Wow, okay. Nice. Oh. Okay, that's news. Let's try Control C, Control V. There we go. Interesting. Looks like my Windows might be a little bit dodgy, or even worse, things are getting a little unstable. Okay, let's just try a little bit more. And 101. Again, we'll only run game test 3. Okay. Okay, so that passed. Let's have a look here now. Yo, and that's quite big, eh? If we have a look against what Air had, that's 17, 18 frames faster than my previous score. So let's hope that we can actually go ahead and finish everything, then I'll have a nice score to submit. Okay, I didn't check to see if it's actually on screen. Okay, it is on screen. Let's take a photograph while we're here. Okay, did we get a score? Did we crash? We crashed. No, we got a score, we crashed. Yeah, we got a score. Very nice. Display driver stopped working. So, 79. I don't even know where that puts me. Let's have a look seeing. So, 79. I think we definitely hit the top 20. 79.4. 411. 79.411. 18th. So, hit the top 20. That's always good. Display driver stopped responding. Okay, that means I think this VGA card is hitting some heat issues. It is too, yeah. Okay, memory, SPD, that's result browser. I don't think we need a valid file. I'll save one anyway. CPU and then memory. Okay, one more. Here it comes. We need motherboard. Right. So we'll just save that screenshot. Don't forget you must have your result detail window open when saving a screenshot. Okay, we can close it and just say save as, and we'll also save this at 79.411. Okay, so display driver crashing. Let's go ahead and see if we can just pump the fan up a bit maybe. Yeah. Manual, and we'll try just pushing it to there. Okay. So what we want to do now is try pushing the processor a little bit more. And again, we're just going to run game test 3. That seems to be the Achilles heel. So we'll go to 250. So let's just have a look at what we're up against to make sure that we are actually on track. So the score I currently got was 79.4, and yeah, I'm not very efficient by the looks of things. I'm definitely behind a 6.2. I'm wanting to crack sort of 80,000. I think I've got the processor speed, but I'm lacking on my memory clock and then also my Windows tuning and stuff like that. So fantastic news that my CPU is doing that speed. I'm quite happy about that, but I need to now spend a little time and fine tune the system in order to maximize my score. Okay. Okay, back. Got a score. Low. Okay, well I think that's pretty cool. We're gonna put down a nice baseline score, 79,000, and we're gonna move our focus over to O3 this weekend. And for O3, we're gonna have to run the video card on liquid nitrogen. I don't know if O3 benefits as much as O5 does for our memory. So I think I might, for the first session, just run the memory on air. I'm going to go and do my research on that, but maybe we run memory, CPU, and video card on liquid nitrogen. That's low. Okay. So let's just go and we'll try one more time, and then we will reset the memory clocks on the video card down. Because like a true moron, I changed two things at once. Now I don't know if the problem comes from the memory settings or if the problem comes from the settings I've changed within Inspector. Right. Okay, unfortunately it's getting to the point now where I'm going to have to start calling the session because I've got a really early start to the day tomorrow. And I've got to get my rest. So I'm going to give it another 15 minutes. We'll just muck around for another 15 minutes, try and see if we can just build on that score. And then yeah, we'll call it as a good foundation. Definitely for 05 to get the maximum run, I'm going to have to run the memory on cold, especially using the AFR memory. To get above 40, you know, like where I am now, I need some cold memories to get my best score, that is. So we're just going to go ahead and default that and apply it. I just want to make sure that that memory is defaulted. I don't think it is. Okay, we will set the fan up there. And inspector, we will change those settings back to 05. Apply it. Just change that setting. Apply, and we'll go back to there. I went too cold before setting that damn volts. It's now at this time of the evening when you start getting a little tired, you start making stupid mistakes and start trying to rush. Let's just take it easy. Okay, so first thing we do is we go set the CPU. Second thing we do, we're going to set the fan speed. And then the third thing we'll do is go and play an inspector. Right, so first thing we do is set the CPU, and to do that we can just go ahead and load our save profile. It's the beauty of actually saving those profiles, as it makes it quick and easy just to get back to where you were. Don't have to muck about. And then we're going to go and set the fan speed, because we need to just make sure that this thing is stupid me is up to 100. Right, and then I'm just going to go into inspector, and I want to just go and make sure that those settings did take. See, they didn't. Okay, apply the changes. Is it just me, or is it not setting those changes? So what it looks like is I've actually got some issues here with this Windows as well. Inspector doesn't seem to be taking these settings, and maybe it's stupid Windows 8. But it was making some of the changes. Okay, so there's some more investigations to be done there. Anyway, we're not going to win there. And if I see, maybe I can get it to here. No. It's very frustrating. Okay, so I'll reinstall Windows 8 tomorrow by the looks of it. We shall see runtime. Maybe if I reinstall the runtimes. Inspector needs .NET in order to work, doesn't it? Could be that. You probably find it some silly Windows 8 permission story, user rights or something to that effect. I'm going to need to spend time and get an OS up and running, I guess. So much things to do. This is not English. It looks like we have driver crash again. Or Windows crash, one or the other. That looks like a Windows crash. Right, well, I'm going to go ahead and call it. We did end up with a score 79,411. So that's more than achieved what we had set out for the evening. The CPU looks to have sort of leveled out around in 05 at 6.47. The next step is, now that we know that the CPU is sort of working nicely again and it's not broken, is we really need to clock the memory for 05 and get a good score in there. But what we'll do is tomorrow we'll come back with the video card cooled with liquid nitrogen and the CPU to 6.4, and we'll push 03. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it an evening, purely because I need to be up early tomorrow, and yeah, there's just no point in pushing much more with the video card that's still on air, and the memory that I can't clock too well on air, much more. It's AFR memory, it's not easy to get up to high megahertz on air. Yeah, so I guess thank you for tuning in. I will put these scores up on HWBots, I think, in the next couple of days. And I'll see you again on the weekend. Until next time, don't forget to, if you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter. From time to time, we do send out correspondence to everybody, which will basically just keep you informed of what's going on and what's happening. Then you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, also to just keep informed of what's going on and when events are happening and when we've got giveaways and stuff like that. So I guess until next time, happy benching, and we'll see you over the weekend. Cheers.